See? Okay, let's do it again. I'm gonna do it again. Welcome to the Yet to Be Named podcast. We're here with my brother, Corey Jorge.
What's up, guys?
And today we're tasting some beers. So we have a few to choose from. Today we're starting with, this is called Robots Just Want to Have Fun Robot Strip Club Imperial Hazy IPA with 10.5%. We're starting off strong here.
Strip club I want to go to.
We're starting off very, very strong here. I mean, look at those. Look at that picture. You can see that? This is brewed and canned by Paperback Brewing Company in Glendale, California. So right up the street from us.
Let's crack it
Local
open.
beer. Man, 10.5%. We are.
Let me smell it.
Smell it, yeah. Let's get a smell test first.
It's very hoppy.
Hoppy?
Heard that they added more hops.
Oh yeah, it's like rabbits in there. You like that?
Nice pour. That's good.
We gotta drink the whole thing, man.
I have to go.
We have 4 beers and we're starting with 10.5. So
It is also 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
well, it did take us a while to set this up.
Hey, that's kind of perfect. Mine has more, but it is.
I think we're okay. We're okay. So let's put it right there. Okay, cool.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's pretty good.
For being,
It's
I was gonna say for being 10.5, you can't really taste it, but
at the end, like it's
there.
But I mean, it's not something that I would drink all the time, but it definitely is something to drink once and stop making faces.
It's just like, like that like, I don't want to say this, but that like sweaty locker
No.
sock.
Yeah, I know what you
That flavor that hits you in the face.
Yeah.
That's it's got a hint of that. I mean, it's not bad. It's definitely drinkable. I'm kind of really not a fan of those harsh flavors, so I'm gonna be like the most harsh on all of these beers.
I mean, it's good. I really like it.
I feel like this is a beer you get like 4 beers in.
Yeah.
You're at a bar, you're drinking, you're like, I'm gonna get that one now, 10.5%. Let's get there.
That makes sense. I mean, 10.5 to start off with is,
Yeah, it's kind of, you don't even want to edge into it, but.
Dude, that's like getting on the track and just going full send.
So, sight lap? When you go out for a sight lap?
Sight laps and it's just like, oh, hey, that was a nice sight lap there, dude.
I'm gonna go take a sight lap. That happened, right? Remember that?
No, but I like it. It's good. It's got good flavor. Would I get it again? I don't know. Paperback, I'm sure that you guys aren't going to be wanting to be a sponsor.
No, I bet they make awesome beers. It's just, I think this one is just for a different crowd and a different time of day, not 5 p.m. and first beer out the gate. I think that's the main issue we got.
I don't know. I just kind of want to crush it. But I'm not going to just yet. I want to get a few in there.
Let's talk about a question first. Let's talk about a question and we'll finish this beer and we'll grab the next one.
All right.
So Corey here wrote down some questions for us. First one. This versus that. Toyota versus Nissan. What is your opinion?
Oof, that's a hard one. Toyota has always had so many classics. I mean, come on. There's, the Toyota Cressida. There's the Supra, which everyone would go towards.
Supra, that's the meme car these days.
The meme car, for sure. But I mean, come on, you've got like what is it, a TE37?
I think those are work wheels. TE72.
TE72s. I mean, I've always had a soft spot for big, boxy bullshit. But come on, you can't...
Big sedans.
Come on, big sedans. You're going to talk big sedans. Toyota Crown.
Well, no.
Toyota Centuries.
I was about to say, the Crown does not take the cake. It's the Century. The Century. For sure is the 4-door. The 4-door with all the horrors.
But then, I mean, if you also think about it too, like Toyota's also made so many great trucks. Land Cruiser.
Well, the Hilux. I mean, the Hilux is the undefeated car of all time. I mean, Jeremy Clarkson has proved that.
Top Gear, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
The car is indestructible. And I mean, even if you look down the street, I mean, every lawnmower toting car is a Toyota that's still working.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
they have like probably
85 SR5s. Like,
yeah, but they have probably like
300,000.
More than that, probably 500,000 miles
easily.
on them, and they're kicking. They don't die.
I mean, the motors that Toyota comes out with, you got the 22R, indestructible. An indestructible motor. Yeah, are you going to get a lot of power out of it? No.
No, but I mean, at
But
that point, yeah.
reliability, without a doubt.
So, you know, Toyota, the way that Japan, especially Toyota, the way that they built their cars back in when they started in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, when they were over engineering everything.
Well, they took plans from, I might get this wrong, it's either British cars or German cars. I think it's German cars. They stole their plans and then they re-engineered them to be better and more reliable. And then they did the same thing they were doing in these other countries. I think it's Germany. But they do stuff to
It wouldn't be the Brits.
Yeah, no.
No,
but
British cars.
It could. It's hard to say because
Name
the wiring.
one British car from the 80s that you would buy that is still running.
Oh no, that's the thing is they took the designs from them, but the way that the Japanese function, they do everything so perfectly and so meticulously that the tolerances and everything is so. It's like they took those designs and perfected them. Pretty much what I've heard, of course, this could all be completely false, and I could have heard this from somebody wrong, is that the Japanese don't really invent stuff; they just make it
perfect.
They perfect things,
which makes sense.
Yeah, I mean everything new in a car that you see on the road today started in an S-Class.
Well, we'll take the Crown for an example. The Crown is basically the Japanese competitor for the S-Class. And the S-Class across the board, whether it's, you know, the S-Class from, you know, the 450 SLs, or you've got the 6.3s, the Grand cars, those things are still running.
No, they are.
And they're comfortable. You've got power, ton of power in that car.
Oh, dude.
I mean, there's so much power.
That's what Mercedes does best.
Dude, the Hammer, come on. The fact that
just the AMG themselves, just the entity of AMG is just
without a doubt,
the most wet dream of a place you could ever think of.
Well, I mean, think about it too, like how a lot of people get it confused where they think that Mercedes commissioned Porsche to build the 500e when they just needed more room. They needed more room, so they went over there and they talked to them, and Porsche was just like, yeah,
they just want a piece of their factory?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they used a piece of their factory. They used a lot of the engineering from them. But I mean, all of that was it's still Mercedes through and through.
No.
But the fact that you have so much power in these cars, and the fact that you're looking at a car from 93 that's now bringing in prices that are $50,000, $60,000
on a Mercedes.
On a Bring a trailer, dude. Bring a trailer. Well, you can find one for
it's funny that we're
36 to 50,000.
We spend more time talking about Mercedes when we're talking about Nissan and Toyota.
I know, but like, you know.
No, of course, no, I totally agree. And then, but that goes back to the ingenuity of Mercedes and how every single thing you see in a car today started with an S-Class.
Oh,
they start every trend.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, the suction doors, everything like that.
The headlights that turn.
Well, technically, if you really want to get technical with it, the car that actually started the headlights that turn was a Tucker.
Well, that was
Even though it was a handful of cars that were built.
A handful, and there was like a 50-year period where nobody did it.
Citroen, I forgot which Citroen it is, but if you actually look at it. Yeah, the French. Dude, the French.
Okay, maybe that's a bad example. That's a bad example, but
once your wheels turn, they turn too. I mean, there's so many other cars that are out there, especially from the 80s. For some reason, the 80s,
it was
and
most
early 90s,
time.
100%. Yeah. It was like the pinnacle of ingenuity.
And the thing that's cool about the 80s and 90s, the late 80s and early 90s, is that car manufacturing, the future was upon us. Everything was about the future, and they were not afraid to take risks and put things into cars that didn't work.
Well, navigation. Nissan was playing with navigation. Nissan and Toyota were playing with navigation in the late 80s, early 90s. And the fact that they had the foresight to actually put navigation into a car, it was unheard of. Dude, people were still using Thomas guides up until what, 2003?
No, yeah, you were printing out maps on, yeah.
Oh, MapQuest.
MapQuest. Yeah, remember the MapQuest back in the day?
Oh man, dude, I remember having to take like different pieces of paper from MapQuest because you didn't print out everything, and you're like, no, I could get from that spot. And then you get there.
I don't need pages 3 through 6.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh no, I can get there. And then you're like, wait, I don't know how to get back. Like we were in Fresno looking at a VR4 and went up there, drove the car. It was amazing. I didn't know how to drive stick at the time. So the guy had, you know, the JDM fog lights, everything like that. Got in the car. The guy's like, "Are you sure? Like, you can drive this? It's fine." Like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I can do it. I popped the clutch, and the guy goes, no, you know what? Let me drive.
I don't want you to drive it.
We switched.
That's all-wheel drive.
It's all-wheel drive.
Yeah, and
so
it's like some oddballs thing. You break that, dude.
You break it and you're done. So the guy, like, we switch, and the guy goes, and we hear this crunch. And I looked at him, and I was like, what was that? And he's like, I don't know. So he gets out, and he's got his $500 fog light in his hand. And I looked at my friend Mike, who was in the back seat, and I was like, I just want this to be done. So we do the test drive, everything.
So he ran it over or something?
He drove it over, but I popped it out when I popped the clutch.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, dude,
no.
it was the most embarrassing thing. Like,
no.
And the messed up thing is, like, that car, it was, at the time, it was mint. It was Summit, I think it was Summit white with black leather interior. Gorgeous.
I can't even
Car was
that,
gorgeous.
dude.
He only wanted $4,500 for it. And that was 2009?
What, like 9?
Yeah, 2009. And I wanted a car so bad, but I felt so bad about popping it. It was just more of a car thing.
you probably would have felt less bad if you just bought the car.
Well, if I bought the car, yeah, for sure. I'd been like, you know what?
Like, I broke it, I'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
But you just being like, sorry, dude, I feel bad. I'm out. Peace.
Oh no, like, we left. We left, and the dude was blowing up my phone, and I never responded. I felt bad, but then at the same time, like, I was 19, so.
We've all been there. We've all done some.
I mean, you know, it is what it is.
We've all done some regretful stuff like that, especially with cars.
The first time I drove, I had driven stick before, but when you have your friends in the car, and
you're like, no, I got this.
It's like, no, I got this.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, I'm cool.
I was in my friend Anthony's TC.
Oh crap.
Oh, dude, I was in Anthony's TC, and Ant goes, "Are you sure you can drive this?" I was like, "I got it." Freaking dumped the clutch, just what? Oh, dude. First gear just
in
burning
the
out.
VR or
no,
the TC?
No, in the TC. Okay. And then just like burning out all the way down the street and just banging second gear, banging third. And he's like, what are you doing? He's like, you're burning out my clutch. Dude, like from then on though, like once you get stick, the way that you learn to drive stick is buy a stick.
Yeah, no, I mean.
Buy a stick, fuck it up on yourself, or mess it up on yourself.
I've had friends and situations to where there's been sticks around me in my life, and for some reason, nobody ever let me drive them. And I promise you, I can drive it. But I never actually drove a stick until the day I bought my 240.
Yeah.
And the guy handed me the keys. I stalled it one time, and ever since then, perfect.
When I bought my EG,
you just have to do it. Yeah.
When I bought my EG,
and it feels better doing it on your car, because then you're like.
Okay, it's like I get it. Like I can
you can learn your car at the same time. It's like it's my car. If I break it, if you're gonna rape it, it feels like it's.
Yeah, it's like for some reason when it's yours, it's like okay, it's solid.
Yeah, it's like
it's 100%. I'm not gonna break it. But when it's someone else's, it's like I don't want to pay for this.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, like the condition of this car. I don't know, like if I'm gonna be the one time it breaks. Yeah. No.
Well, when I bought my EG, you know, we'll put it on record. I bought a built EG. In Arizona.
This is actually going to come up later in our topic. So.
It will. It'll come back up. But I bought a Galapagos screen, fully built K20 swapped EG. I actually traded it for my Silverado, which I wish I still had.
Yep.
But, and again, that's a later topic.
That's a topic as well.
But when I bought it, I was following my friend, and we were in Avondale in Arizona. And I'm coming over the train tracks, and I stalled it right on the tracks. So my friend's in front of me. He's like, what are you doing? I couldn't get the car started. Couldn't get it started. All of a sudden, the arms are coming down.
Oh, my God.
And that car, it was weird. Like, I could talk to it and just be like, okay, like, just get me home and everything's going to be fine. And, yeah, I would talk to it nice. You know, you rub the dashboard and it just goes click and turns right on. Arms are coming down. Put it in first and just,
I mean, that's literally the dynamic with swap cars. Because sometimes they work and sometimes they don't.
They have a soul.
Yeah. Even with my 240, it's like click, 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 click. It's like, all right, turn over.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you have to talk to it. It's like be gentle.
You have to be nice to him, dude.
Oh,
I swear there's like a soul in these cars.
No, without a doubt. Like you have to talk to it nicely. Because if not, it's not going to happen. Dude, the Civic got me in so many situations to where I was almost jumped. I was at a party and I couldn't get the car started, and we're sitting there and I had hooked up with some guy's girlfriend.
Oh, I'm glad you said girlfriend after that.
Yeah. I hooked up with some guy's girlfriend who she didn't tell me she had a boyfriend. This was, weeks before. And me being an idiot was just like, yeah, for sure, I'm gonna go back to that same party that I was at. So I get there, I park the car. We're in Arizona, and I see the dude, and I'm like, you know what? It's time to leave. Like, I want to go now. So I told my friend, I was like,
it's like super bad period stay and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I get in the car. Car's not doing anything. I'm talking dashboard's black, everything's black, not even ticking, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting jumped tonight. So sure enough, probably about 45 minutes later, the guy like comes up to me and like there's this big crowd, and I'm like, great, here we go.
He got all of his buddies to come with him.
Got all of his buddies. He ended up hitting me in the face. We went to the ground, and the only thing I can think of was just get out of this. So I got out, hopped in the car, and second thought was, please, no one throw a rock at this car. That's the one thing I was like, I don't care about me, just no one mess up the car.
Yeah, just don't mess with the car.
And all I said to the car was, we gotta go home. And I put my foot on the clutch, started the car, it started right up. Whew, we took off when we were done.
Dude, would you like start calling a kit or something, dude?
Oh, I'm telling you, that car had a mind of its own. And if it didn't want to start, it wasn't going to.
It's that nicety towards cars. I mean, I have a lot of mechanical sympathy growing up, driving through my first car and stuff like that. And the cars I didn't care about always broke. Maybe it was like they broke because I didn't care, and I didn't care because they always broke.
Right.
But ever since I got in my 240 and I cared about it so much, the thing never, ever let me down.
Yeah.
Never, ever. And it's just because you're nice to it, you treat it right, you talk to it right, and they get your back pretty much.
Well, the thing that I've noticed too is when you build a car, for some reason, it becomes a target. For me, speaking personally, like every car that I've built has either been keyed, dented, someone has done something to it in some way, shape, or form, and is literally within days of doing something to it. Wheels, suspension.
Well, I have
an Nardi steering wheel.
I have to take a step back though, and what car are you building though? That's probably making you a target.
And that's probably what it is.
If you have a Honda Civic.
You know what? The Civic never got messed with. My truck got keyed.
Okay.
My black regular cab Silverado got keyed.
Yep.
Again, that was mostly my fault.
You're probably
I was
pissing somebody off.
Yeah, I was an idiot.
Yeah.
I was 19. But that one, my TIG, the TIG one, that's had the most.
See, I don't know why that is such a target, because it's such a subdued color.
It is,
and it's like just lowered.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the fact.
You have to think that a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of it's got to be jealousy.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. And it's I'm not saying that the TIG is like the nicest car that anybody's ever seen. It's built. No, like it's lowered, it's chrome deleted, all of the plastics are painted, and it's on Audi wheels.
Yeah, it's on stock Audi wheels.
Right, like it's
not super flashy.
Exactly, it's not like some.
It's like once you see it. And you look at it again, you're like, oh, okay.
There's something.
Oh, wow.
To it.
But like, if you're driving on the street, you won't even notice it.
No, it's OEM plus.
Yeah.
The people who know, they know.
Yeah.
But then there's also those people who know who are jealous.
And that's the thing. If somebody knows enough to know that much, then the way I treat cars in general, not because it's your car, screw you, and I'm going to kill your car because I don't like you. It's like, no, I'm not going to hurt this car.
But you know what it is?
Maybe I'm just different.
You and I, we've come from a time when we would go to car shows, and the car shows that we used to go to were all old timers.
You had to be deep into the scene to be at these places.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, I saw a cool thing on YouTube, or I played a video game and I want to go.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to actually like inject yourself.
Well, even when we were younger and we would go to, so there was that one car show that they used to have in Monrovia and Myrtle all the time at the park. All those are old time dudes.
Oh, they're all classic cars.
All classic cars. And those guys, I remember I had keys around my side, and one of the guys is just like, hey, can you take your keys off and put it in your pocket?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, not a problem.
It's super nice.
But see, like, we developed an etiquette towards the car
True,
scene.
we learned, and also, just our upbringing, at least for me.
Oh yeah.
Very,
Especially when it comes to people's cars.
Yeah.
If it's a built car, like, I don't care if it's, you know, a Geo Metro. If someone put the time and money into it,
especially after you build your own cars, you realize how much effort that is.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
How it's not just the minutes and hours of you turning a wrench. It's the thought process behind it and everything that goes into building a car.
Without a doubt.
And that's something where going to car meets these days today, you see cars that you don't like.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and it's fun to, you know, like talk smack like quietly to yourself, but you don't ever say it loud so the person can hear. Like you don't ever want to be like, hey, your car's stupid, or you know, it's like, no, dude,
it's
you gotta
like,
have
why?
some common courtesy. Be like, hey, like I don't like the way you did that, or you know.
But I mean, okay, so it all comes down to this too. The majority of the people who are going to talk the most smack are the people who don't have a car.
Are typically taking the bus to work.
Exactly.
Or going to school.
Or going to school.
Yeah.
And it's like, hold on, what is it that you're driving?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a
Keyboard warrior,
bone
that's
stock
it.
Kia.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Are you going to do anything to it? Oh no, I don't want to do anything to it. It's like,
no.
Well then why are you?
Yeah,
you
don't
poo-pooing on
understand
everyone
what
else's
it means to how much effort, what this is to somebody.
And it's not just like financially. It's the fact that you're putting in hours, hundreds of hours, you know, researching,
and that's
figuring
the hard
out
part.
what it is that you
It's not turning the wrench, it's the thought process. It's sitting in bed thinking about it. What are you going to build? Finding the right parts, all that stuff.
Oh, for hours.
Yeah.
I mean,
it takes years to build cars, dude.
I know that what I do is I'll be up till 4 o'clock in the morning because I can't sleep.
Yeah.
And I've literally built cars that I will never, ever, ever own. Well, maybe not never, ever, but most likely never, ever own.
Definitely not in the near future.
Not in the near future. I mean, come on. I've built a JZX 100 in my head. I can't even tell you how many times. To nuts and bolts of what colors I want.
So for me, going through school, I'm like the only kid that likes Japanese cars. So I had nobody to talk about this with. So I'd be in Saturday school, and I can't draw. I can't get my ideas on paper through art. So I would just sit and write pages and pages of I want these wheels, I want them to sit like this, and I want tint like this.
Sheets,
and
full build sheets.
And just write down just lists of all these different cars. And even in my head today, I found them recently.
Oh yeah.
I found my build sheets. And it was right around time I was looking for a 510, and I found the 510 build sheet.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, I think I gotta build this.
Nice.
So I'm still looking, it's still on my list. But yeah, that's what we do. I mean, it's literally hours of your time, and then laying in bed awake and just staring at the ceiling, and just your brain won't shut up about it.
Oh yeah, it won't shut up.
And you can't shut it up until you're done.
I mean, it's like back in the day when we had auto traders. Remember auto
Remember that?
traders?
Yeah. We would just go in circle cars.
Circle cars.
Circle cars, and we're not gonna buy them.
No, dude. You know
I remember asking my dad, being like, "Hey, can we just like call and go look at it? We're not gonna buy it, but I just want to like.
I just want to look.
I want to like actualize one of these because we're looking at these every day.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I had so when I was 16, like between 14 and 16, I had an obsession. We'll just call it an unhealthy obsession with CRXs.
I remember that.
Unhealthy obsession with CRXs.
I mean, so that puts me at like 7 or 8?
Yeah, about that.
Like 8. Yeah. I remember this.
Unhealthy. And, you know, they weren't pursuit of function. They were not pursuit of function. They were Black Widow kits. Like, you know, I'm talking full rice.
It was Fast and the Furious 1.
It was Fast and the Furious 1.
It was Midnight Club stuff.
It was, you know, the one car that always stands out to me in the first Fast and the Furious is the White Del Sol and hydraulic.
Oh,
always,
dude! I was just thinking of that car.
That car
before you said it.
Always stands out. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, you know, I like, you know, they want to get like obscure. And they're like, oh yeah, I like Mia's Type R. It's like, yeah, that's cool. But did you see the White Del Sol? Like,
see the hydraulics?
Did you see the
White Del Sol?
Asian
dude that stepped out?
Yeah. It's like, dude, like the White Del Sol was so sick. Like,
hell yeah, dude. And then, I mean, this is off topic, but just talking about Fast and the Furious. This question came up recently. I heard it in a different podcast, and it was like, if you can go back in time to any thing that happened in history, where would you go? Where would you want to see? And you know what it is, dude?
You want to go to Glen Oaks where they filmed.
No, I want to watch the first Fast and the Furious live in theater on opening day and see the reaction.
Oh, I did.
You did?
Yeah, Donovan and I, our cousin and I, we went to go see it.
Dude, that to me is like
Donovan,
a dream, dude.
Donovan and I actually went with Kayla and Heather to go watch that movie
on opening day.
On opening day.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so
in Laverne.
I've heard talk of what happened.
It was awesome.
Were people like cheering and stuff?
Yeah,
at the
people
end?
were cheering. Like it was.
Oh man,
it was awesome. It was so cool.
That's like the one, because that's my favorite movie of all time. All time.
It's up there.
I've seen it over 100 times. And like, I know every line to it.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's one of those movies. It's not even that great of a movie, but it's just it had such an impact on me as a kid.
Well, it
up.
had so much impact on the culture.
Yes.
Like it brought the, you know, import tuner super street culture to life.
And it brought it to the masses, really.
Oh yeah.
It brought it to the everyday person.
Oh, it did.
What year did that movie come out?
2003.
Okay. Because that was around the same time.
Hold on, let's fact check that. I want to say it's 2003.
That was around the same time we did D1.
Okay, so
that was when I got into cars.
when the first time I was introduced to Fast and the Furious was actually through Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero.
Yes.
So they had so they actually had the preview on that movie or on that game, and I remember my friend Armin, shout out Armin, Soapy Suds, he let me borrow that game. He's like, you got to play this game.
Is that the game we still have today? You never give it back?
I never gave it back to him.
Oh, I still have that.
I never gave it back to him for PlayStation 2.
We made better use of it than he ever would have.
Yeah. And I remember watching that and just being like, the thing that always would stand out in my mind is seeing the Supra and then seeing, we were always talking about it in class, like, oh man, did you see the part when they drove under the truck? We're like, oh my God, it was so crazy. I mean,
that was so mind blowing. We never even thought about that being a thing.
I had to have been in the 6th grade, 7th grade, something like that. I want to say it was 2003. 2003? Or 2000 and I think it was 2003, 2001. Anyway, this is why we
have so many.
We need a laptop so we can just.
I have so many. Well, I have so many like previous Googles of the Fast and the Furious. The last one was Black Civic because I want to build that car.
I'm hoping Hot Wheels actually comes out with one.
Didn't they?
No, not yet.
It was the EM1 version, right? The black one.
Yeah, but okay. So there's this thing that's going around on Instagram where they actually have the 3 Civics and the Rogers truck. Yeah,
no. It's
going around on Instagram. I know that someone had made it, but I want Hot Wheels. If you're watching, Bro, I hope you do.
2001.
Okay, so 2001. All right.
Okay, so this is a lot. I was not old at that time.
Wow, that was 20 years ago.
I was pretty young.
That was 20 years ago.
They made 9 movies in 20 years.
Wait, so that means you were 6?
I was in the 1st grade.
So you were 5?
6. Yeah.
6.
And I didn't really, when it came out, I didn't really get it when it came out. But a couple years later, and especially like as I got a little bit older, that movie just had such an impact on me.
Well,
and then I never was able to experience it live at the time. That's why I want to go back and.
I'm still looking for my Mischief videos.
Have you seen the VinWiki car stories on the Mischief guys?
No.
Oh, you should watch them, dude.
Though they're so cool. They had a yellow E36, and then they also had a yellow Mazda.
No.
Yeah, they did. It was a Mazda.
Yes.
It wasn't what the hell was it? It was an MX.
You know what car that is? That's the car from the cover of Midnight Club? No, Underground? It's an FTO, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't an FTO. FTOs are Mitsubishis.
Yeah.
No, it was a Mazda MX-6. Something like that.
That car is, I forget what it is. It's on the cover of some video game. And this is about the time my camera stopped recording. So, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave us a comment and let us know if this is something we should keep doing. Don't forget to follow us on social media, and have a good day. Goodbye.